Okay, we're going to look at packaging design. Now, packaging design comes in many forms. So here is a micro card for a camera, and you can see it's got blister packaging and it's got graphics around there. So this is what we're going to be looking into today. Now, I've kept these two pieces of packaging from some of my camping gear. These are interesting because these are the packages for Gerber, and these are the tools that come with these, so to see how these look with it. Now, with the package, the tool actually fits into this, so if I just put these here, you can see how that works. So the tool is actually lined up on it, which is kind of nice, and it's held together by small ties, normally cable tie type things, or elasticated plastic ribbon in these areas to hold it in place. So you can see the product, and the product's also described within the card. Okay. Now, this one works in a similar way, and again, it's got the same holes for tying down here and here, and the tool then was displayed originally fitting into those holes like so. So it goes in sideways because it's a more complicated tool, and it's showing the different tools in the group as well as information around. So this is good. I like this packaging design. It's good, it's simple, it's nice, and it has all the key elements we're going to play with. So what we're going to look at today is the idea of designing a package in for this. This is called spork, and these are commonly used by people that do camping, and when you guys do your Duke of Edinburgh award or international award, you'd be interested in taking only one eating implement as well for weight, etc. Now, this has a certain size, so we can do other objects. So here I have a compass and a whistle, so I could have a whistle packaged, a compass packaged, or a spork packaged. So I'm not going to steer you into doing one specific thing. I don't mind what size object you decide to do. Now, the idea of this assignment, you're going to design a package for something. You don't need to have the thing you're designing the package for, but you do need to have an image of the thing and information on the size of the thing for designing the package. Now, I'd like to keep us all in the same place, so I'd like the package to be designed for outdoors equipment. Okay, so in this demonstration, I'm going to look at how we start off designing a flat package for something like this. So I'm just going to use a pencil, and I'm going to use a ruler or a straight edge. A ruler is the best thing because you've got incremental measurements on it. So first thing I'm going to do is going to place that at the edge of the page there, and then look at a good distance, and then I'm going to draw a line all the way across. Now, if you haven't got this size paper, which you probably haven't, just use A4 paper. Doesn't really matter if the paper's lined or anything like that. It's all quite cool. Now, that line's very, very light, but I'm going to darken these off afterwards when I get all the stuff in place. I'm then going to look at the width overall of the spork itself. So I'm going to place that in there. I'm going to use my ruler, and I'm going to measure. So if I make this about 6, that would be good. So from my first line I've got there, I'm going to mark off 6 and 6 in 2 places. And because I'm using just a technical drawing pencil at the moment, you can use HP just as well, just keep your lines light. I'm going to mark off up there. Okay. Now I'm going to look at the size of the object itself. I'm going to leave a small gap at the bottom, and then draw a line which goes along this way for my next one that I do. And at the top I'm going to leave a little gap slightly higher up and draw a line as well. Now, because you've probably got problems seeing what I've done, what I'm going to do now is the lines I've used as construction lines, I'm now going to use a darker line to put those in place so you can see them. Okay, so now I have my back plate, which I could then tie on my spork to present it for sale. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some information in the top section here to allow me to hang this on a hook for display. So looking at the original ones I looked at, and looking at the sample we looked at of the disc, you can see it's a very similar shape we're looking at here. So that shouldn't be too difficult to do. So I want to leave a small gap at the top. So what I'm going to do is come down 1 centimetre, come down 1 centimetre, join that line up, like so. So I've got a line going through there. That's going to be where my item stops. Now, what I'm also going to need to do is find the centre of that. So I'm going to measure how big my top loop is. I'm just going to put 1/2 centimetre in there, and then put 1.5 centimetres in there. So 1 centimetre in there, 1/2 centimetre there, 1 centimetre just there, so 1.5 in total. So now I've got a line across here and a line across here, and in there I wish to get my hanging thing. Now, to make it centre, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a cross line lightly in there, and then do from that position to the corner of there, do a cross line lightly in there, and then I can hold my ruler, keeping my ruler parallel to the line, and then I can find the centre position just there. Okay, so I now know where the centre is. That's going to be useful later on when we start to do text and stuff. Now, at this stage, what I'd normally do is use this tool, which is a circle template, but because you probably haven't got one of those at home, I'm just going to do it freehand, so you can do it freehand as well. But if you have something with holes in like this that you can draw around, it's going to make it a lot tidier. So, in this bit just here, I'm just going to sketch in a 1/2 circle in there. Right, so. This bit just here, I'm going to come out a set distance. So if I make this 1.5 and then make it 1.5 there, I've got an end I can use just there. Just there. So I can then round this off, like so, round this off like so, and then join this to this, this to this, and then put a straight in the bottom. So I've semi-free sketched, semi-technically drawn the hanging bit I'm going to put in place. Now I'm going to now put my tool in place just there. And I'm just going to mark the bottom of that where it's going to go in. I can then decide how I'm going to hold this in place. So I might have a circle there and a circle there, and then I might have again down here, a circle here and a circle here. That's so that this bit at the bottom that's interesting is revealed, and this bit at the top that's interesting is revealed. So that's now given me my circles in place. So I now have the base card that I need. Other things I could change on this, I could put a radius in there, like so. But I could rub bits out to get it a little bit tidier. Now, once you've done this, what I want you to do is to draw 3 of these, okay, up to that stage. And this is the first part of the project, because it is on these we're then going to start putting a design in place. Okay, so the way to start on the 3 is you can just, I'd use the thickness of the ruler, draw a line across, like so. Look at the original thickness of this, which was 6. Mark off 6 here and here, and then draw another line across. Now we now know what it actually looks like, so now I can put the radiuses in first. Oh, another name for these is fillet. A fillet is a radius, like so. I can then draw a slightly heavier line so they can be clearly seen. Okay, now what I can do now, using these lines here, I can just project these across. And then to get the centre on here, I'm just going to measure 1, 2, 3, mark. 1, 2, 3, mark. And then I can put the centre line in there. And it doesn't matter if you leave a centre line in there, because that will help us with later things. Okay, so once I've got that in, I can then start to put in my other information. Like so. These would be much nicer done with tools, but this is just the first run we're going to do. We'll get more technical as we go further into the drawing and when we're back at school. So I've got number 2 just there. So I'd like to do number 3, and once we've got that far, we're going to start thinking about the design process. But the first thing you're going to work on, guys, is this. This is your first thing, and you will need a ruler, and check your measurements and draw your lines the best you can. And if you have some sort of round drawing tool, please use that, because that would be very useful. Okay, good luck.